So what do you do when you just don't know what you want to do with your life, and it's leaving you feeling depressed and hopeless, and you feel like you want to start cutting and you're not eating properly and all these things? Well, a teenager asked us that question, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer, and welcome to another week of Youth Questions, where every week we answer real questions from real teens about real life. And this week we're going to answer one of your questions who is pretty common. Actually, I'm getting a lot of questions submitted revolving around the different elements in this question. The person who asked this week's question just seems to have a lot of the common elements of the questions you guys are asking all kind of wrapped up into one. I've been feeling depressed for 7 months since I graduated high school. I have little hope for my future. I really don't eat much. I've recently felt the urge to cut, but haven't really started, and I'm keeping this all a secret from my family. That's a really tough situation to be in. I took this question and answered it myself, and as usual, I also asked a couple other youth workers to give their advice, their input, and their suggestions for you as well, and here's what we all had to say.
2.5 years ago, I had a student who was just like that, what that comment was, except for she was still in school, and she wanted to commit suicide, and she left notes, and fortunately, she was found before she did it.
It's funny that you should say that you've been feeling this way for 7 months, because I've been feeling similarly for 7 months through my own personal situations.
From what I take from this question, you're basically saying, hey, I'm out of high school, I'm supposed to be starting on a new journey in my life, I'm supposed to be going somewhere, doing something, working towards something, whether in college or a career or school or whatever, and you just aren't. And so you feel like, something's missing, I should be doing something and I'm not.
2.5 years later, she has got a new outlook on life, and she really she looks at life a whole lot differently now. She's excited about life, she's excited about her future, and there was a lot of prayer and a lot of time going in that.
One of the first things that I noticed that was helping me was the fact that I own 2 dogs, and I have to walk these dogs every day, and the fact that I got out to walk them was helping to lift my mood when I was out in the fresh air, being active and, you know, getting the endorphins and the adrenaline running through my body, those natural mood lifters.
I'm not sure if you're a believer in Jesus or not, but I have a good, I want to tell you something from heart to heart. And there's a verse in the Bible that I'm going to get to in a minute, but it's talked about knitting us together.
Think about ways that you can get some exercise, maybe some fresh air, or maybe you want to walk as well, if you have a pet or whatever, you can do that.
I had basically no idea how many steps were involved into knitting. It's like picking a pattern, there's choosing your yarn, selecting the correct tools, and finally the actual knitting part of it.
I think it's important that you start by asking, what am I really passionate about? What do I really like to do? If I could do one thing for the rest of my life, what would it be? And a lot of times we think, I don't know, but think of it this way. What do you do for fun? What do you enjoy doing? What's a hobby? If you could take whatever you do just for fun and relaxation and turn that into something that would provide an income for you and become a job and a career, wouldn't that be like awesome? So you get paid to do what you love?
When I felt really low, it was really tempting just to reach for a chocolate bar and just eat it and feel so much better. But I only ever felt better for like a few minutes, and then I was back to feeling low again. What
you make determines, it's a time of process, and it's from the start to finish. And when you're knitting something for someone, it really truly is a labor of love.
Whenever I was eating healthy, like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and all of that, and eating, proper routine meals, and not, just devouring anything and everything and lots of sugary things, trying to eat in a healthy, balanced way, I found that I was much better mentally, emotionally, physically, and it helped to uplift my mood throughout the day, and not just for 5 minutes after eating a chocolate bar.
Now maybe you say, hey, I just like playing video games all day, or I just really like doing something that traditionally isn't a job or wouldn't turn into a career, or at least not a well-paying one. And that's when you just need to start getting a little creative and think, how can I change this so that it does provide an income?
A verse comes to mind, it's in Psalm 139, And I'm going to read it. It says, "You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb." You think about that verse, that he knit us together. He created us, he knows us, and he made us wonderful. He made us.
It's been a confusing time for me as well, and I can appreciate that now at this phase where you've just graduated high school, there's so many things that you could potentially do, but none of them seem like a viable option to you or something.
Earlier this year, I was in a similar situation where I had to make some career choices and decisions about my future and where I was going. And there's two books that really helped me, and I'll recommend them to you. The first one that sounds a little bit more like it would be helpful for your situation is this one right here. It's called 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller, and how to discover the work that you love. And it's a really helpful, almost workbook type of book that really just helps you figure out what do you like doing, what are you really excited about, and what career could you make out of that.
He didn't just throw us together. He didn't just haphazardly put us together. He carefully thought about the color, the size, the pattern, about you, about me. I mean, he thought carefully about this. He knows and he cares about every tiny detail in your life.
The other book is this one called No More Mondays, also by the same author, by Dan Miller, and Inspire Yourself and Other Revolutionary Ways to Discover Your True Calling at Work. And this book was really helpful for me in that this one's geared more towards someone who wants to start their own business or start their own job or create a job for themselves. This is really helpful for that. This other one, 48 Days, is more helpful for if you're going to go out and find a job and land a job that's already established. So both of those are linked up below. Go check them out.
I mean, I can imagine God, sometimes I do that, slowly putting us together and considering carefully each and every stitch. What I'm trying to say is you're not a mistake. You were not an accident.
You need to look wider than what you're seeing right now. I know that's hard to do, but try and just cast your net wider. Try new experiences, get involved in new clubs, new groups, or take up a new hobby, and maybe learn some new skills. Maybe it's about enrolling in a part-time course or something and trying to learn something new, like photography or whatever. That was the only thing that came to my mind.
God intentionally made you special and with purpose. You have a future. There is hope. Yeah, I understand now. You're feeling terrible. You're feeling miserable. Your life's not just acting up. You're having all these issues. I totally get it.
It's also really helpful if you can find like an adult or someone that you really know and trust who knows you well, and you could say, hey, where do you see my life going? Based on what you know about me, what do you think would be a really good career track, or what I should be working towards in my future?
Because the other thing that's really helped me in my time is having friends that I can talk to and just vent about stuff, and people who are ready just to listen to me go, that's been really useful to me.
You talked about you haven't told your parents yet. You need to tell them. You need to tell them how you feel. If you feel that you can't go to them or something like that, then you need to. But if for some reason you can't, then I go to a pastor, or if you go to a church, go to a youth pastor. Go to someone that you can tell others about this.
When you bottle all that up, it just builds up and you feel even lower than you were. So be sure that you're talking to somebody. I know that you said that you're not talking to your parents about it, and I would really encourage you to do that. But I can understand how big that is, so try to talk to somebody first, and then maybe with their support, go and speak to your parents, and maybe ask them if they would go with you to speak with your parents.
Go try talking to a youth pastor. A lot of them can really help you think through some of the things that I've mentioned and some other things as well. And even if they don't know you very well, they would be more than happy to take the time to get to know you and ask you good questions that help you think through some of the things that you're wrestling with.
Pray about all this stuff because God is just amazing, and God is always there for you through anything that you're going through.
You really need to have a solid relationship with God, and if that's not a part of your life, it almost doesn't really matter what you do for a career, what job opportunities you take, what direction you go with life. And even if you feel like you're the most fulfilled person of all time, Scripture says, what does it profit if we gain the entire world yet forfeit our soul? And that is really important. So if you don't know what that is about either, I would encourage you to go talk to the pastor as well.
Back to this girl. After she had gone through this, I did a study on this. And I didn't tell the youth about it, and they showed up, and we talked about it, we prayed about it, and there was 4 students who were holding back. and that were having these issues about cutting and about suicide, all these things, and they came forward that night, and we got a hold of their parents, and I talked to them, and we talked to them, and now none of them are thinking that way anymore, because they realize there is hope for them.
It actually says in the Bible that God will give us a hope and a future. So turn to God and ask, what is my future? What does that look like? What do I need to be doing to get there, God? So I'll be praying for you, and I hope that all the advice that I and other youth workers in this video have given you have really helped you.
If you have any suggestions or ideas or any kind of direction that you can help and you can provide to give to this person and other people who are in this similar situation, please comment below and let us know. We'd love to hear from you, and it would be great to see you guys all kind of giving your advice and helping each other in this. If you're a teenager watching this video and you have a question that you'd like us to answer in an upcoming video sometime, there's a link in the description below this video here on YouTube where you can anonymously submit a question about anything you're going through in life, really anything. We will do our best to answer it in an upcoming video. Of course, to get that video, if you're not subscribed to us, you're going to want to click right there, the subscribe button above this video on YouTube, so you can keep up with all the videos that we're uploading every week for you guys. And I will see you all again next week for another Youth Questions video. Bye.